Alright, so this will be Wednesday, October 2nd. We're going to go through our the bell work over our magic lens sentence and get into our idioms and stuff like that. First, let's go ahead and kill one of the lights. Alright, for here, if you're not done writing it down, you can finish writing it down as we go through, and we'll do our best to try and help you out. What I'm going to have you do is eventually you're going to start doing these on your own, but we're not ready for that yet. But I figure we'll try to show you guys how it goes through. For below the parts of speech, we're going to go through and write underneath each word. Imagine you're going to, actually we're going to have you just draw a line straight down from the word, from that word to what it's going to be. This is where having your magic lens notes, you're going to refer back to them, it's going to make life much easier. A moment ago when someone just asked me what are the sentence patterns, you go back to your magic lens notes. There's a section called sentence patterns. And you look in there and match them up. And then the thinking happens. Mind blown. That's what we mean, by the way. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. The first one, we're going to go from easiest to hardest. In theory, verbs should be some of your easiest ones to do. So we'll do our verbs first. We have two verbs in this sentence. What are the two verbs we have in the sentence? Rebels. We have one before that.
Oh, I got it.
I have faith in you.
Attempted.
Nicely done. And she attempted to figure it out. And so attempted, write it directly below that one. So don't write it like the very first thing off to the left. You're going to write it directly below attempted. So that you can draw an arrow straight down. Actually makes it easier. Draw a line straight down. Because I can't make it show up on there, but you guys can do it. So just draw a line down. And then rebels, what was the next one you said?
Throw.
Throws, our next verb. So you draw a line straight down so you can figure out exactly where they are. After that, in theory, after verbs, nouns should be our next easiest one to figure out. So we're going to go through and figure out nouns. We have two nouns in this one. So for that one, what's our first noun, Spazini?
Ooh, children.
That's correct. So put noun below children, little line coming straight down from that one. Our next noun that we have, Macanani?
Chair.
Is correct. Chair. Our next noun. A line, back and down. We have another one that's not a noun, but similar to a noun, replaces a noun. Hopefully that helps you out. It doesn't describe a noun, that's adjective. It just replaces it. Sully?
Me.
Yeah, wait, and what does mean?
It's a pronoun.
Nicely done. And that's where the pronoun comes in. So now we've taken care of all the nouns, all the verbs, all the pronouns. The next easiest one typically is adjectives. We're going to go through and list all the adjectives. The very first adjective is an easy one because it's buy one, get one free because it shows up in the sentence twice. Hammy?
Horrible.
That doesn't show up twice. You're right, that's wrong. Moyer?
The.
Is correct. The. Mr. Broviak, I thought that was like an article adjective. Well, it's an adjective. There's only 7 choices that you're going to go through. We're going to go with the verb, the noun, adjective, adverb, conjunction, interjection, and preposition. That's one of those 7. So that makes it, now buy one there, and boop, get a second one right there. So that gives us our next one. Now back to Hammy. What's our next adjective?
Horrible.
How do I feel about this class? Good job. Horrible. So that's where the adjective comes in.
No, actually.
And what noun is horrible describing?
Children.
That's how I feel about this class. And so horrible. And the next one after that comma would be another adjective.
Click. No, that's an adverb.
You're right, that's wrong.
Evil.
Is correct. Evil. And so evil makes it a line right there. Now we're down to only 3 left. So we'll go to our next easiest one, adverb. And so we have, do any of our words, we have quickly, to, and at as our 3 words that are left. Did any of those qualify as an adverb, meaning it modifies, gives more information about the adverb? Swear.
Quickly
Is
an adverb.
It is. Nicely done.
Do we
So
have
you put
attempted?
adverb to quickly.
Do we have attempted yet?
Yeah,
It's a verb. Never mind.
You got me. That's a good. That was the very first one we did.
Oh.
And then the last
I
one,
still
we have
have
to, and at. They are both the same label for both of them. Now we only have 3 things left. Conjunction, interjection, preposition. If it's a conjunction, that means it has to be one of the fanboys. For and nor, but, or, yet, so. Are any of those? Conjunctions are out. If it's an interjection, that means it's the thing that goes in by itself showing emotions. Is it an interjection?
No.
Throw that one out too. What's that leave left? So
Preposition.
they're both prepositions. Preposition, preposition. That's the easy step one. Now here's where the tears are going to start. I'm excited too. Sentence patterns. Go look at your notes. Move your stuff as you're actually looking at the notes. Go to the section that says sentence patterns. Flip it up like the second page that's on there. For the sentence pattern, there's only certain choices we're going to come through. See where it says subject, verb, something, subject, verb, something? They're all, that's what we're going to write down. So for all of those, it's nice and easy. What's the first thing we write down?
S.
Nicely done. What does S stand for?
Subject.
So you write down subject. Now where are you going to write it? Directly below what the subject is. What's the subject of our sentence?
Children.
Nicely done. So you write it directly below children, noun, subject. So you saw that line that would go through all of them. The next thing we have to do is figure out our verb in the sentence. What's our main verb? We have two. One's part of a phrase, one's not. What's our main verb? Bringing the tears. What do we have, Nanny?
Attempted.
Is correct. That's our verb. Now we have to figure out, is it linking verb or action verb? Because if you look at your sentence patterns, that's the next step. Now if it's linking verb, there's only like 8 choices. Because what are the 8 choices for linking verbs?
It's linking.
Oh, wait.
Good. Are, is, am, was, were.
Yeah.
Then, there's 3 more.
Has.
Has, have, had. Is attempted any of those? No, so it's not a linking verb. What's the other option?
Action verb.
So you have action verb there. Now here's where it gets tough. Than it was already. For our action verb, either does the sentence stop there? Are we done with the sentence?
No.
Nope, there's still more words. So it means it is not the one that just goes subject, action verb. So now we have to do the subject, action verb, and then throw in the next thing. So here's where we have to figure out, can we figure out what the children attempted? The children attempted what?
Throw the chair.
So what is it, if we can figure out what they attempted, what do you call that next thing?
Direct object.
Nicely done, Bueller. Direct object. And so the direct object goes right below that phrase to throw the chair. That's your direct object. Problem is, still not done with the sentence. We have at me, which gives us more information about that. Did they just throw the chair? Where'd they throw the chair?
At you.
So that's more information. So what's the last thing we put?
Subject.
Close. Does have the word object? What?
Indirect object?
No, that goes between the direct object and the verb. Only one thing comes after the direct object. Typically, it's the OC. But what is the OC? What's the OC? Nice.
Object complements.
Object complements. Because it goes through, you put object compound.
I know.
Well, you gave me that look like, why did you put me?
Where's object C? Where's the line?
It comes straight down from at me. At me, through preposition. If you want to, that's fine. I'm okay with that. That's your sentence pattern. See, you can tell it's going to fit that pattern you have on there. Subject, verb, direct object, object complement. Just like it should. You're writing it just down like that. Phrases. To help you out, we have 2 phrases in this one. The first phrase is this, to throw the chair. Now don't write it to the left. Write it directly below to throw the chair. Now here's the tough part. You have to label what kind of phrase it is. Mr. Broviak, how are we supposed to know that? There's so many choices. Wait, in your notes, it gives you all the options for phrases. There's like 4 of them. And it tells you what each phrase begins with. What does this phrase begin with? To, which cuts it down to 2 choices, infinitive or preposition. Now, what comes after the 2? Is it a verb or a noun? A verb. Only one of those goes to verb. One goes to noun, one goes to verb. What is this one, George? Infinitive phrase. It goes to and then verb. It's an infinitive phrase. We have one more phrase in the sentence. I'm not going to give it to you because I have faith in you being able to figure it out. George again? At me. Nicely done. To figure out what kind of phrase this is, it's easy. What did you label that word as? Nicely done. If it's a preposition, that makes this a
Prepositional phrase.
oh my goodness, that's so easy. Prepositional phrase.
Do you mind if we don't write phrase?
That's fine. I just did definitive and prepositional. Another phrases. Then, so close to the end. Clauses. Here's where you have to figure out if you have the dependent or independent clauses. Dependent means it has to rely on other words in the sentence. It can't stand on its own. Independent means it can stand on its own by itself. Here's your clue. This phrase, the horrible evil children quickly attempted to throw the chair at me, is one clause all by itself, standing on its own. All one clause. So if it's all one clause on its own, what do we write down?
The whole thing.
Dependent or independent?
Independent.
That's all you write down. We have one independent clause.
Do you want to draw arrows?
You don't have to draw an arrow for this one. Normally you would if we had more than one section, but since the whole sentence is independent, it's easy. Now if I did, I will smack you, comma, and you will bleed, that's going to be independent, independent. You have two independent clauses. We only have one independent clause. So if we only have one independent clause, you have to figure out the sentence type. Simple, one independent clause. Compound, two independent clauses. Complex, dependent, independent. Compound, complex, dependent, independent, independent. Which one do we have? Everybody knows a lot of words all at once coming right out.
Simple.
Nicely done. It's a simple one. Just one independent clause, as simple as it gets. The last one, we have to figure out, is it going to be declarative, imperative, interrogative, or exclamatory? Here's the easiest way to do it. Interrogative is the easiest one. What does the interrogative one do? It interrogates, does a question. What does it have to end with?
Question mark.
Does ours end as a question mark?
No.
Not interrogative. What's exclamatory do?
Exclamation.
Yelling has to end with?
Exclamation mark.
Does ours end with an exclamation mark?
No.
So it's not going to be that one either. So that means we're down to just declarative and imperative. What does an imperative sentence do? It does a command. It tells you you have to do something, or it tells Joey. Does ours give a command?
No.
So what's it left with?
Declarative.
So it's a declarative sentence.
I
Simple as
did
that.
call it.
Nicely done. Almost felt like learning.
That was bad.
You should see. I could have videotaped when I was in class. There was just kids going, I don't know what's going on. They just ran around in circles and spelled over like one kid died. It was awful.
Wait, is the video camera on?
For you guys, yes. I have faith in you guys. Unless they're watching it.
So my voice is in this right now?
Yeah, yes, they call you losing points. Why don't you record our... So what you're going to do on that same page, you're going to go down a little bit. Hopefully you didn't fill the whole page up. If you did, we're going to do 4 lines of notes because it's going to help you out. Have you writing this down? No, but if you don't write it down, you're probably going to be upset when I go, what was that part we wrote down? And you go, I don't know. So it'll help you out. If not, you have to memorize it. I'm happy either way, only you know your own smartness. It'll be 4 lines, so hopefully that helps you out. If you run out of room, then just go to your next bell work page and just put the date and title again. Peterson?
Wait. So we need 4 lines
All together. This is line 1.
Wait, so we just need 4 lines?
Just 4 lines. Really trying to not confuse you. Wait. Yes, 4 lines. Exactly, that was fun. An idiom, what we're going to get to for today, before I realized how long that bell work was going to take us. For the idioms, what we're going to study for now, an idiom is a phrase you guys use all the time. But it's a phrase that has 2 different meanings. Figurative meaning and a literal meaning. I got to switch something real quick to make things easier on you. Idioms, and you use them when I go mind blown, that's an idiom. Because it has 2 different meanings, from what you understand it to mean to what it actually means. Hang on.
No.
Try to hang on.
What?
Just hang on.
Oh.
Come on. Come on, good. Come on, good. There we go. Hang on. And switches to there. Faster. Faster. Ooh, that did not work out well. Dang it. Just switch it.
Mr. Broviak, a question.
Yeah, it works fine.
Question, Kristen,
Yes, dear.
can I entertain the camera?
Is that going to entertain the camera?
Like, you know how they're looking at such a blank, like.
I know. It's all right. They're at home. They're like, what's going on? Don't worry about it. We're fine. So this one. So we're going to use the phrase, you're driving me up the wall. If I say, you're talking is driving me up the wall, that's an idiom. There's two different meanings to it. The figurative and the literal. The figurative is what you know it to mean. If I say, you're driving me up a wall, what do we know that to mean? Amy?
We're driving you crazy.
Nicely done. That's the figurative. The common definition. What we know it means. So the figurative is what we know it to mean, word for word. You're driving up a wall, like, oh, I understand. But you have to understand, the literal is if you don't know English. If you're just learning our language, and you're like, Mr. Broviak, what does that mean? You're driving. You would take it word for word. So the literal definition is not the common phrase. It is the literal word for word definition, where you have no idea what I'm talking about. And you have to try and figure it out. Do you mean you're actually a vehicle going up a vertical surface? Why? And so that's the problem is, that's why it comes across as the funny meaning. You're like, no silly person from another country who doesn't understand my words. And so it's because that misunderstanding, it makes people giggle, and that's where it becomes the funny meaning. It's if you didn't understand English. You use these all the time. I use them all the time. When I call you slow kids, that's an idiom, because there's different meanings. Mr. Broviak, does that mean when I'm running, I'm not a very fast? You might not be. I have not seen most of you guys run. But that's not where I'm going with this. That'd be an example of an idiom. All right. They're going to come back. Don't freak out. They're going to disappear now. They're going to come back. So hang on, and they'll reappear in just a moment. You don't have to write these next ones down if you don't want to. They're examples we're going to go through to help you out. As an example, we're going to see how well this stuff stayed in your brain. Gabe, idioms have two definitions. What are the two definitions? They're called?
Figurative and literal.
See, notes come in handy, don't they? Figurative and, driving up a wall, figurative and literal. We just went through and did this one. So if I were to go back to Bueller, what does figurative definition mean?
Means it's the common definition.
Nice enough, the common definition. And what is, Griffin, the common definition of you're driving me up a wall?
You're making me crazy.
Nice enough. You're making me crazy. Now, here's one of the issues comes in. We can't globy this. And what it means by globying something is any time you cannot use your nouns and verbs in your definition of it. You can't say, it means you're actually driving me up, because that's wussy globetrotter stuff. And we're not globetrotters. Well, most of us are not globetrotters in here. And so because of that, you have to make sure that you replace them. So to help you out with that, Jawa, what's literal definition mean?
A word for word definition.
Thank you, notes. Nicely done. Told you they come in handy. Now, what would be the literal definition of this phrase, knowing you cannot use the word driving or wall? It requires you to be creative, use synonyms, and think outside the box. You also cannot use the adverbs actually, really, literally, globy-y. This makes you all twitchy. Sweater?
You're in a vehicle and you are going up a surface that is slanted.
Nicely done. I'm in a wheeled vehicle moving up a vertical surface. Not bad.
Yeah.
Now we'll try one that, the problem with idioms is if you've never heard of the idiom, you can't come up with a definition. Like, Mr. Broviak, I've never heard of that. So our next one, raining cats and dogs. If you've never heard that phrase, you can't give me the figurative one. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone can do the literal one, because even if you've never heard it before, you can just go through and tell me exactly what it means. So let's back up. Mort, what are the two definitions?
Literal and figurative.
Nicely done. What is what does figurative definition mean?
Common definition.
Nicely done. Those notes come in handy. Now, can you come up with the figurative definition of this, not using cat, dog, or rain? Those words are off limits. Peterson?
Wait. I can fill in for her.
Come back to you. All right, Spasny.
Okay, so I can't use raining cats or dogs.
Correct.
It's pouring hamsters and frogs.
Good, except two issues. One, that's the literal. Two, Hamsters and frogs are not the same things as cats and dogs.
Oh, we have to do this.
And so you were wrong on 2 counts, but it was adorable.
Okay.
So now we're back to still doing the figurative one over here. Hang on, Bach.
No, I wanna do the literal
I
one.
want you to do the figurative.
But I wanna do the literal one.
Now you're out of luck. Oh, Griffin.
Fluffy four-legged animals falling from the sky.
Good. Still literal. I'm looking for the figurative.
What?
I know. If someone says it's raining cats and dogs out right now, you don't go, Mr. Broviak, I just took a look out there and I got 4. No. What does it mean if they say, Lisa?
It's really hard.
Nicely done. The figurative, once again, just what it means if you've ever heard it before. You guys get all excited about the literal one. We weren't ready for the literal one yet. Speaking of the literal one, Richard, what does literal definition mean?
Literal definition is what like the actual sentences mean, and that would mean it's actually raining cats and dogs. Or-
Good, except you can't use the word actual
Yeah, so-
or raining or cats
so
and dogs.
It's fluffy animals are coming down from the sky.
Nice. So fluffy animals coming down from the sky. I went for canines and felines. I put you are a slow kid. I'm going to skip we have so many other ones because that you are a slow kid. The figurative, the literal, and the common, that you are serious issues of the Then we took the literal one. If you didn't know what I was talking about, it means the fact that apparently when you move, you are not fast. Glaciers pass you. This one that you might not have heard of. If you've never heard this phrase, that's where it gets tougher. So here we go with one that not everyone knows. When it says, until you can get back on your feet. So do you feel strong enough to go through the whole thing, Hammy?
Yes.
All right. First off, what are the 2 definitions?
Figurative and literal.
What does figurative mean?
Like, common definition.
Nicely done. What would be the common definition of that?
Like, until you, like, feel better.
Not bad. It's usually until you can support yourself with a job or feeling better if you have some kind of a problem. What does literal definition mean?
Word for word.
And? Nat, I really do like that word like.
Yes!
And you can't use the word feet.
Is that the only one I can use?
Wait, can you
The
use
other
the
ones
word
aren't really that important.
Okay.
Feet seems to be the trickiest one here. No one can come up with a synonym for feet.
monkey hand?
Phalange.
So true. Yeah, oh, you're good. When you, like, stand back up or, like, recover yourself.
Would be good for the figurative.
Oh,
not the-
right.
I know. Gabe?
Until you can stand back up.
Not bad. I put until you can get your toe holders underneath you. Same idea.
Get that.
With this one, a lot of times comic strips will come up with the funny side of them and they'll draw a comic strip to go along with that picture because it seems to make people giggle and laugh. As an example here, this one that says, don't worry, Daryl's going to stay with us until he gets back on his feet. And you have Daryl over there, and you have Daryl's feet off to the side. And so it's the representation of that literal one, the funny definition, and so it's that same thing will pop up. Alright, we're going to take a look at another one. See how well you can do this with the whole way through. So you know this one?
No, I
You
know.
have a question? Alright, what's your question?
Sort of. You know how you did the raining cats and
Uh-huh.
dogs? I just turned around and I saw that right
That's
there.
crazy, the idiot right there, that example. So for this one, you are a couch potato. Be able to go through and do all the options, including both the ones that go into that spot. Alright, Abby and Emmy. What are the 2 definitions?
I'm encouraging.
Faster.
The first one is a common.
Well, what are the 2 definitions that go in here?
Figurative.
And?
Literal.
Good. What does figurative mean?
Figurative is the common one, the one.
Good.
And literal is the one.
And what's the figurative definition of you are a couch potato?
Okay, it means you like to stay on the couch a lot. It means you stay on the seat a lot.
Good enough. I just think that you're lazy. But what does literal mean?
That
Definition.
the one that a foreign person would know.
Nice. So under word for word. Then for this one, can't use couch or potato.
You are a seat. You are a seat vegetable.
Nice enough.
Hey!
I put you're a brown sofa-dwelling vegetable. I think it's the same idea. Nicely done.
Wait, but isn't sofa a couch?
It is, but it's not a couch. You can use synonyms. You just can't use the word couch.
Oh. So could I have used foot?
What about a sofa spud?
Sofa spud.
I could have used foot.
No.
Yeah. And the other one you said these
Yeah, foot and feet is just the same thing. You're just conjugating it. You could, but then I'd probably call you Globy the rest of the year. It's up to you. Yes, sir.
Didn't you put you are a lazy vegetable or vegetable?
But then,
Potatoes a vegetable?
but yeah,
Is this
where's
vegetable?
the couch part come in? Once again, another example of they use a little comic strip that goes along with it, where it says, "I'm afraid you're going to couch paper just too long." He's got the stuff growing off it from there. Now to the homework that you guys have. Turn off the other light. I'm going to show you examples I'm going to have you guys do for it. You're going to find your own idiom. Well, you can't create an idiom because that's not how idioms work. You can't be like, "I have my own idiom. Never touch a squirrel on the tail." It doesn't work. Because like, what's the common meaning? I'm like, I've never heard that before in my life. So it has to be one that other people know. I'll give you a list. If you have no idea, I'll help you out in a moment. So you go through, I'll skip that one. Don't let the cat out of the bag. So that would be what you do is you, on your sheet, you're going to go through there and write your idiom on there, and then you have to come up with the figurative and the literal definitions. Well, for don't let the cat out of the bag, what is the figurative definition of that? What is it we know that to mean? Bono?
Don't let the secret out.
Nicely done. So you write down for the figurative, don't tell the secret, and then you're going to draw a picture in that box representing that definition. And there's someone not telling a secret. Then you go over to the other side, and you have to give me the literal definition. And what is the literal definition of don't let the cat out of the bag? Peterson?
There's a cat in a bag.
Can't use cat, can't use bag. I know. Sack would work. That's part of it.
Now I realize what it sounds like. There's a feline still in the
Rebels?
Don't let the feline
Yes.
escape
The sack.
sack.
Good teamwork. Don't let the feline escape from the sack. Ah, same thing. You're gonna have like a little cat underneath the little bag, find a little net, and you're gonna go through and draw the picture. When you do the picture, you have to fill the whole thing because if not, it's wussy globy stuff. The writing has to be in pen. Drawings can be in pencil. Writing has to be in pen. Use complete sentences. If you're not a good artist, neither am I. That's fine. I'm judging you on effort, not on your artistry. So make sure if you use stick figures, put clothing on your stick figures. I don't like naked stick figures. It's creepy. So just put like something on the top part and then something on the bottom part, and then you can just do a stick leg, stick arm, stick head, stick hair, and like little ball, like little thing. That's fine with me. I'm looking more for putting in the background stuff so I can tell that you put effort into it. And so we'll go through other examples like being caught red-handed. What's that one? Knock them dead. Let's see, punching, dying. She gave a speech. Head in the clouds. That head's actually floating up. Make sure you do complete sentences. If not, it ends up costing you points. All right. These directions, top left-hand corner, a lot of the big ones are up there. The only ones that aren't up there are the ones that say stuff like the picture has to be in color. I think I should have said that one there. Fill the entire box. Stick figures must have clothes. Make sure you use complete sentences. To help you out, I will give you a list of idioms. This list is also on Blackboard. The directions, also on Blackboard. An extra sheet in case you mess up, also on Blackboard. If you see an idiom and you don't know what it means, if you're like, on the cutting edge, what does that mean? If you don't know it, you can't use it because you can't give me the common meaning if you don't know the common meaning. So find one that's on here, or if you know a different one, that's fine. Mind blown idiom. That is an idiom. So something like that, if you're not sure, ask me. You cannot use any one we've already covered. So if you've already gone through and done it, you can, because that's globy work. Spazzing. If you're not sure of an idiom and you want to ask, now I'm happy to help you. Like, what about this one? Is that? I can be more than happy to help guide you. Want to try again?
Yeah.
Yes, dear.
Just the mind blowing.
That's an idiom. We've not done that one, so you can.